Good day everyone, my name is Judilyn M. Lumanag and today I'm going to discuss the Do Not Just Dream, Make It Happen under the subject of understanding the self. As we go through this lesson, we are able to use Bandura's self-efficacy theory for self-assessment, differentiate growth and fixed mindset by Dweck, and design personal goals adopting Locke's goal-setting theory. So, for the introduction, let me introduce Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield is an epitome of success. He has authored 7 books listed in Guinness Book Record as New York bestseller, beating Stephen King according to Macmillan 2017. These are the 7 books. First, Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Second, The Success Principle, how you get from where you are to where you want to be. Third, The Power of Focus. Fourth, The Aladdin Factor. Fifth, Dare to Win. Sixth, You've Got to Read This Book. And the last, The Key to Living the Law of Attraction. Jack Canfield is the chairman and founder of the Canfield Training Group. And he is a founder and former chairman of the Chicken Soup for the Soul Enterprises. And he was also invited to 1,000 radio and television programs worldwide because he is also known as a motivational speaker. Here is the one of Canfield's featured quotes about success is, by taking the time to stop and appreciate who you are and what you have achieved, and perhaps learn through a few mistakes, stumbles, and losses, you actually can enhance everything about you. Self-acknowledgement and appreciation are what give you the insights and awareness to move forward toward higher goals and accomplishments, according to Brown 2016. This quote means that by reflecting on your achievements, growth, and even mistakes, you gain valuable self-awareness. This self-recognition helps you move forward with greater clarity and confidence, allowing you to reach even higher goals. And that's all for the introduction. Next reporter is John Briggs Lagampin.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is John Briggs B. Lagampin, and I will be reporting the abstract of our report. Albert Bandura introduced self-efficacy in 1977. A classic in psychology, born in 1925, he grew up in Alberta, emphasizing family, life, and education. After a summer job in Alaska, he studied psychology at the University of British Columbia and earned the Bulacan Award in 1949. Moving on to the Bobodal experiment. The Bobodal experiment, Dr. Bandura's 1950 study, demonstrated the effectiveness of social modeling in nursing. So, ano nga ba yung social modeling? Ito yung pagpapakita ng professional attitude and kung paano makipag-interact in the right way para may matutunan sa atin yung mga students or yung mga tao na naglo-look up sa atin. Para malaman nila kung paano tayo mag-act in the right way, kung paano natin i-handle yung mga patients natin. Moving on naman sa the Bobodal experiment. Dito naman, nag-experiment sila sa mga bata wherein yung mga bata ay pinakitahan ng mga adults na nag-act aggressively doon sa doll. And nung yung mga bata naman yung pinahawak nung doll, parang ginaya nila yung pag-act nung adult na yon towards sa doll. So naging aggressive din sila doon sa doll. On the other hand naman, yung mga bata na hindi pinakitahan ng aggressiveness towards doon sa doll ay hindi din nagpakita ng aggressiveness towards doon sa doll. So, we can therefore conclude na social modeling is really important in the field of nursing. So, imagine this. May patient ka and pinakitahan mo yun ng aggressiveness. So, ano sa tingin mo magiging reaction ng patient mo? Siyempre, magiging aggressive din siya towards sa'yo. So, it's really important na pakaisip natin kung paano tayo mag-a-act sa mga tao surrounding us. Lalo na in nursing, kailangan mong magpakita ng professional attitude para ma-satisfied yung mga patient mo. And that's all for my report. Thank you.
Good morning, I am Roxanne Bautista and I'm going to tackle the topic, the self-efficacy theory. Self-efficacy theory is based on the assumption that psychological procedures serve as means of creating a strategic expectation of personal efficacy. Self-efficacy theory developed by psychologist Albert Bandura is the belief in one's ability to succeed in specific situations of accomplish a task. It suggests that when people believe they can achieve a goal, they are more likely to put in the effort and persist through challenges. Higher self-efficacy can lead effort feel confident in their skills. Individuals influence their life events and identifying acts of high assurance in their capabilities. First is approach difficult tasks as challenges to be mastered. This means seeing through tasks as opportunities to learn and improve rather than obstacles. Second is set challenging goals and maintain strong commitment to them. This involves creating ambitious targets for yourself and staying dedicated to achieving them even when it gets hard. Third is heighten or sustain efforts in the face of failures or setbacks. When you face problems or fail, this encourages you to work even harder rather than giving up. Fourth is attribute failure to insufficient effort or deficient knowledge and skills which are acquirable, and this means that when you don't succeed, you recognize it's as a result of not trying hard enough or needing to learn more rather than as a reflection of your ability. Last is approach threatening situations with assurance that they can exercise control over them. This encourages you to face scary or challenging situations with confidence, believing that you have the ability to handle them effectively. Characteristics of people who doubt their capabilities. One is shy away from tasks they view as personal threats. People who doubt their abilities to avoid tasks that seem too challenging or stressful for them. Second is have low aspirations and weak commitment to goals they choose to pursue. They often set easy goals for themselves and don't stay ever committed to achieving them. Third is on personal differences of the task they will encounter and all kinds of adverse outcomes rather than concentrating on how to perform successfully. Instead of focusing on how to succeed, they tend to worry about their weaknesses and all the problems they might face. Fourth is slacken their efforts and give up quickly in the face of difficulties. When they encounter challenges, they might lose motivation and quit instead of pushing through. Five is are slow to recover their sense of efficacy following failure or setbacks. After failing, they take a long time to feel confidence again and often continue to doubt themselves. 6 is fall is a victim to stress and depression. Because of the negative thought about themselves, they are more likely to feel tense and depressed. The four main sources of influence by which a person's self-efficacy develop and maintain. One is performance accomplishment or mastery experiences. Success or belief through your own efforts boosts your confidence. When you successfully complete tasks, you feel more capable of handling similar challenges in the future. Second is various experiences. Watching others succeed, especially those similar to you, can inspire you to believe that you can succeed too. If you see someone else achieve a goal, it helps you think, if they can do it, I can too. Third is verbal or social persuasions. Encouragement from others can enhance your belief in your abilities. When your people around you supporting, affirm your efforts, it makes you feel more confidence in your capacity to succeed. Fourth is psychological, somatic, and emotional. How you feel physically and emotionally can influence your self-efficacy positive. Feeling and goal health can boost your confidence, while stress or anxiety can make you doubt your abilities.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jan Michael Reyes, your reporters from Group 10. Carol Dweck's biography. She was born on October 17, 1946. She graduated from Barnard College in 1967 and earned PhD from Yale University in 1972. She is the author of Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. Mindset, The New Psychology of Success is a groundbreaking book written by Carol S. Dweck, a Stanford University psychologist. Published in 2006, the book explored the concept of mindset, specifically the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and how they influence our approach to life, learning, relationship, and achievement. So, ito yung libro niyang ginawa ni Carol. So, ang focus nito is, yung mindset natin. We have two types of mindsets. We have a growth mindset and fixed mindset. So, what is fixed mindset? The belief that intelligence and abilities are innate and cannot change. People with fixed mindset may fear failure and avoid challenge. They may also focus on looking smart and avoiding looking down. So may mga tao daw na may fixed mindset, may mga tao din na growth mindset. So ang fixed mindset is pinaniniwalaan nila yung kakayahan nila, yung skills nila is hanggang doon lang, yung hindi na mag-i-improve. So, yung mga taong to is takot silang mapahiya, takot silang ayaw nila na masyadong challenge, ayaw nila mag-take a risk sa isang bagay na gusto nila, sa isang bagay na goal nila, and gusto nilang is magmukhang presentable, magmukhang matalino, is ayaw nila magmukhang katawa-tawa, magmukhang dumb, ganun. Growth mindset. The belief that intelligence and abilities can be developed through effort, practice, and perseverance. People with a growth mindset embrace challenge and view mistakes as opportunities to learn. So, ang fixed mindset is kabaliktaran lang ng growth mindset. Yung growth mindset naman is, sila naniniwala na abilities nila is nade-develop through effort, practice, and perseverance. So, ayun nga, yung kung sa fixed mindset is ayaw nila nagte-take ng risk, ibahin mo ang growth mindset is gusto nila nagte-take ng risk, and yung gusto nila laging na face nila yung mga challenge, and okay lang na mag-fail sila kasi ang tingin nila sa mistake is opportunities to learn. So yung mistake na yun hindi nila tinetake as negative way, tinitake nila as positive way na if magkamali sila, okay, next time, alam ko na yung gagawin ko. Okay, nagkamali ako sa part na to. Alam ko na kung paano gawin to next time, kung paano ayusin, kung paano gawin. So, in summary, yung fixed mindset is ayaw nilang masyadong nagte-take ng risk dahil takot silang mapahiya, takot silang mag-fail. Kasi ang alam nila is hindi na mababago yung abilities nila. Kung yung abilities nila is hanggang dito lang, is hanggang dito na lang, ay yung pananiniwalaan nila. While ang growth mindset is nade-develop siya through effort, practice, yung yung skills nila, yung abilities nila is nasa baba. So, habang nagtitake sila ng risk, ng challenge, is nade-develop yun hanggang sa ma-develop na nila talaga yung abilities nila, yung mga skills nila.
Edwin A. Locke. He was born on January 5, 1938. He is a Dean Professor Emeritus of Leadership and Motivation at the Robert H. Smith School of Business at the University of Maryland, College Park, an American psychologist who developed the theory of goal setting. Goal setting theory states that specific challenging goals enhance performance and motivation. People are more motivated when goals are clear, difficult yet achievable when they are committed to them, and when they receive feedback on progress. Dito sa theory na ito, nagbibigay ng motivation to improve performance kapag naging specific, klaro at nagiging challenging ang mga goals na nakaplano na gagawin mo. According to Locke, may 5 key principle ang goal setting theory. First, clarity. Goals ought to be precise and well-defined. Ang goals na isa-set natin ay dapat klaro at specific para magkaroon ng direction at focus para maintindihan kung ano ang kanilang ginagawa at kung ano ang mga aksyon na dapat gawin. Halimbawa, sa ANAFI Finals, nag-set ka ng goal na dapat makakuha ka ng at least 85% of your grade sa final exam. Dito, nagbigay ka ng specific na grade at malinaw na goals na dapat mong makamit, kesa sa nagsabi ka lamang ng gusto mong maging pasado sa exam sa ANAFI. Walang specific at hindi klaro. Next, challenge. Goals should be difficult but doable. Since they demand more work, concentration, and perseverance, challenge goals they typically result in better performance. Ang mga nakaka-challenge na goals ang nagmo-motivate sa mga individuals na ipakita ang kanilang abilidad at kakayahan dahil mas nag-i-improve ang performance nila dito. Mas mahirap na goals have the chance na makamit ang goal dahil nangangailangan ito ng higit na effort, focus at pagpupursige na makamit ang goal. Halimbawa, yung goal mo is makakuha ng 85% sa ANAFI Finals. Ito ay challenging para sa iyo. Kaya you need more effort and focus on the topics that you need to review for your final exam in ANAFI. Commitment. People must be dedicated to their goals. Making the goals personally meaningful or making sure the person accepts them are 2 ways to promote this. Kapag ang layunin ay may kaugnayan sa personal na halaga, pangarap o interes ng isang tao, mas malamang magsumikap sila upang maabot ito dahil ito ay may malalim na ibig sabihin para sa kanila. Halimbawa sa pag-exam natin sa ANAFI is cover to cover, lahat ng system kasama. Kaya gumawa ka ng paraan na hinati mo ito sa pagre-review ng 3 to 4 system in 2 days or gumamit ka ng mga flashcard para sa mga vocabularies na i-review mo. Dito nakaschedule yung mga dapat mong reviewin each day para less cramming. Next, feedback. Frequent progress reports are essential. Feedback encourage people to keep working toward their goals by letting them know how close they are to reach them. Ang pagbibigay ng feedback ay nakatutulong sa mga individual na subaybayan ang kanilang progreso at manatiling motivated. Ang positibong feedback ay nakatutulong upang mapanatili ang kanilang dedication sa kanilang mga layunin, kaya't mas mataas ang posibilidad na magpatuloy sila at magtagumpay. Halimbawa, nagbigay ng feedback ang teacher ninyo. Ito ay nakatutulong sa kanila para maintindihan na dapat silang mag-focus sa mahihirap na paksa. Next, task complexity. The individual should not be overwhelmed by the task complexity. Realistic goals should be attained with the right resources and abilities. Ang sobrang komplikadong gawain ay maaaring magdulot ng pagka-frustrate or burnout o pagkaubos ng energy. dahil mahirap abutin at minsan ay nagiging labis na nakapagod. Kapag ang layunin ay naabot, nagiging mas madali para sa isang tao na magpatuloy at magtagumpay sa kanilang mga hakbang. Halimbawa, pagre-review sa final exam sa ANAFI. Ang pagbibigayin mo ng enough time para i-review ang mga system nang hindi nagra-rush o nagka-cram para hindi makaramdam ng pagka-frustrate.
And now, let's move to the goal-setting theory. The goal-setting theory was first studied by Dr. Locke in the middle of 1960s. He continued to do more studies in relation to his theory. In 1996, he published another article entitled Motivation Through Consciousness Goal Setting. The article is about his 30 years of research findings on the relationship between conscious performance goals and performance on work tasks. The basic contents of goal-setting theory are summarized in terms of 14 categories of findings discussed in the article according to Locke 1996. Locke 1996 first described that the approach of goal-setting theory is based on what Aristotle called final causality, that is, action caused by a purpose. It accepts the axiomatic status of consciousness, and it also assumes that introspective reports provides useful and valid data for formulating psychological concepts and measuring psychological phenomena. Then he discussed the attributes of goal and his 14 research findings. The main purpose of this lesson is for us to achieve our dreams and set our goals. The question is, how can we set our goals? Kayo, paano nyo siniset yung mga goals nyo? So, according to Aristotle, take action with a purpose. Para ma-achieve natin yung goal natin, let's do something with a purpose. If you have a dream, set a goal and act to aim for it. Just like me. As a student, yung goal ko po is to have a degree and to have a stable job. So I have to work hard for it and make it happen. Just like what the title says. Do not just dream, make it happen. Next, the goal attributes. Goals have both an internal and external aspects. First, the internal. They ideas, desired ends. External. They refer to the object or condition sought. For example, a job, a sale, a certain performance level. Goal attributes. The idea guides action to attain the object. Two broad attributes of goals are content, the actual object sought, and intensity, the scope, focus, and complexity, among others, of the choices process. And for the goal attributes, we have qualitatively and quantitatively. Qualitatively, the content of a goal is whatever the person is seeking. Quantitatively, two attributes of content, difficulty, and specificity have been studied according to Locke 2017. We have 14 research findings. A research was made by Locke 2017 under the article Motivation Through Consciousness Goal Setting. The research has the following findings. First, the more difficult the goal, the greater the achievement. The linear function assumes, however, that the individual is committed to the goal and possesses the requisite ability and knowledge to achieve it. Without this, performance does drop at high goal levels. And the second one is the more specific or explicit the goal, the more precisely performance is regulated. High goal specificity is achieved mainly through quantification. Example, increase sales by 10%, or enumeration. Example, a list of tasks to be accomplished. Thus, it reduces variance in performance, provided that the individual can control his or her performance. This is not to say that specificity is always desirable. It may not be in some innovation situations, but only that it has certain effects. Third, goals that are both specific and difficult lead to the highest performance. Especially relevant here are the many studies that compared the effect of specific hard goals, such as do your best. People do not actually do their best. When they try to do their best, because as a vague goal, it is compatible with many different outcomes, including this lower than one's best. The aspect of intensity that has been most studied in goal-setting research is that of goal commitment, the degree to which the person is genuinely attached to and determined to reach the goals. Fourth, commitment to goals is most critical when goals are specific and difficult. When goals are easy or vague, it is not hard to be committed to it because it does not require much dedication to reach easy goals. And vague goals can be easily redefined to accommodate low performance. However, when goals are specific and hard, the higher the commitment is being required, which result to be better performance.
5. High committed to goals is attained when the individuals is convinced high committed to goals is attained when the individuals is convinced the goal is important. So, syempre, para ma-attain yung goal nila, dapat yung individuals is maging convinced na yung goal nila is important. For example, as a nursing student, na alam nating importante yung goal natin is, alam naman natin goal natin is paging RN. So, syempre, alam nating importante yon. So, yung goal natin is gusto natin pipilitin nating maabot yung goal natin hanggang sa papunta na tayo sa goal na yun. Basta kailangan lang natin is ma-convince na yung goal na gagawin natin is mag-important para makamit mo o makuha mo yung goal na yun. B. The individual is convinced that the goal is attainable or that at least progress can be toward it. Need din natin ng assurance na attainable yung goal natin. Siyempre, kung alam naman natin yung goal natin is imposibleng makamit, di naman natin paghihirapan or di naman natin makukuha yung goal natin kung di naman natin maano yung goal natin. Di naman natin pagtutuunan ng pansin or pagpopokusan kung alam naman natin hindi. So, syempre, dapat ang goal is attainable. 6. In addition to having a direct effect on performance, self-efficacy influence. A. The difficulty level of the goal chosen or accepted. Sometimes kasi, class, depende yan talaga sa goal natin kung gaano natin kagusto or kung gaano natin kagusto makamit yung goal natin. So, minsan, mahirap gawin yung goal natin is kasi, yun sa mahirap na goal na yun is napapasok sa atin na panghihinaan ka ng loob dahil ayun nga, is mahirap, is kaya ko ba to, especially sa mga may mga fixed mindset na kung mahirap talaga yung goal nila is ayaw na talaga nila. While the growth mindset is talagang ite-take nila yung risk nila kahit yung hindi nila alam yung result. Yung result kasi is dalawa lang naman is magiging mapupuntahan is which is yung good or bad. Kung yung result nila is good. So syempre matutuwa tayo as gusto na talaga ng goal na makamit. While yung bad result is okay lang sa mga growth mindset kasi tinetake nila yun as learning opportunities. B. Committed to goals. Syempre, eto naman is yung mga tayo kung gaano natin kagusto yung goal natin. Kung gagawin mo ba lahat para makamit yun, kung ite-take mo ba yung risk na yun, kung para ma-attain yun or para ma-commit yun. The response to negative feedback or failure. Tulad nga ng nireport ko kanina, dapat ang mindset mo is growth kasi the response to negative feedback or failure, kung paano tayo mag-response sa mga negative feedback and mga failure natin. Kasi yung mga fixed mindset class is nagre-response sila sa negative feedback is yung iisipin mo nila na kahiya-hiya sila, katawa-tawa sila, while yung mga growth mindset dapat pag nagre-response ka sa negative feedback, dapat your mindset is growth, which is nakikita nila yung mistake nila as learning opportunities. Though negative feedback siya, pero iisipin nila yung negative feedback into positive feedback. Nagagets nyo ba, class? Yung negative feedback na pumasok sa kanila is gagawin nilang positive feedback para hindi sila panghinaan ng loob. Yung mga failure nila is hindi magiging sa kanila yon, hindi magiging sagabal para yung goal nila is ma-attain nila. D. The choice of task strategies. Ito tayo rin to kung paano natin gagawin yung mga task natin, kung pahihirapan ba natin yung sarili natin or hindi. Yung mga strategies. Kailangan din natin malaman kung anong mga strategies na gagawin natin para if mahihirapan ba tayo or hindi. Sabi nga nila, work smart not harder.
Goal setting is most effective when there is a feedback that shows progress in relation to the goal. Ibig sabihin nito, mas nagiging matagumpay ang isang tao sa pag-abot ng kanyang mga goal kapag nagkaroon ng pagsusuri kung paano siya umusad patungo sa mga goal niya. Ang feedback ay magbibigay ng gabay at nagsisilbing motibasyon upang mapabuti ang mga hakbang na ginawa niya patungo sa tagumpay. Goal setting, along with self-efficacy. Medyo is the effect of knowledge of past performance on subsequent performance. Ibig sabihin nito, ang ating kaalaman kung paano tayo mag-perform dati ay nakaka-epekto sa ating susunod na pagganap. Ngunit mas malaking epekto nito kapag tayo ay may malinaw na layunin at mataas ang pananampalataya sa ating kakayahan. Kung naniniwala tayo sa kakayahan at may malinaw na layunin, mas magiging maganda ang ating pagganap sa mga susunod na pagkakataon. Halimbawa, sa mga quizzes natin sa ANAFE is nahihirapan tayo at nakakakuha tayo ng mababang score. Kaya nag-set tayo ng goal na dapat mas mag-aral pa tayo ng mabuti para sa susunod na quiz. At dapat may malaking tiwala ka sa kakayahan mo na magtagumpay at maniwala na kaya mo mag-improve. Goals affect performance by affecting the direction of action, the degree effort exerted, and the persistence of action over time. May tatlong paraan nito na nakaka-apekto sa performance. Ang una ay tinutukoy nito kung saan nakatuon ang ating mga ginagawa. Ikalawa, kung gaano tayo kabisi o kahanda na magsikap para maabot ang ating mga pangarap. At ang panghuli, kung gaano tayo katatag magpursue ng ating mga goal kahit na may mga pagsubok o paghihirap. Halimbawa, gusto mong makapasa sa mahirap na exam. Magbibigay ito sa iyo ng malinaw na direksyon kung ano ang mga hakbang na kailangan mong gawin, tulad ng pagre-review mo ng araw-araw. Dahil sa goal mo, mas nagiging masigasig ka sa pag-aaral at mas matyaga ka magtutok sa iyong mga gawain upang matagumpayan ang mga hamon at maabot mo ang goal mo. Next, goals stimulate planning in general. Often the planning quality is higher than which occurs without goals. When people possess task or goal-relevant plans as a result of experience or training, they active them automatically when confronted with the performance goal. Newly learned plans or strategies are most likely to be utilized under the stimulus of a specific, difficult goals. Dito, nag-iisip ka ng mga pwede maging strategy para mas lalo makamit ang iyong mga goal. Halimbawa, sa mahihirap na exam at quizzes. Gusto mong makapasa, kaya nagplano ka kung paano mag-aral ng mas epektibo para sa mga exam na yun. Ang strategy na ito pwedeng gamitin sa mga mahihirap na goal dahil ang mga ito ay nagbibigay ng malinaw na gabay kung paano makamit ang tagumpay. Next, when people strive for goals on complex tasks, they are least affected in discovering suitable task strategies of they have no prior experience or training on task. Kung wala silang sapat na kaalaman o kasanayan sa isang task, mahihirapan silang makahanap ng tamang paraan upang magtagumpay. Halimbawa, sa biology subject, kailangan magkaroon ng laboratory activity about sa blood typing. Dapat alam mo kung paano ang proseso sa pagkuha ng blood type mo. Pero ikaw wala kang sapat na kaalaman kung paano ang proseso sa pagkuha ng blood type. Nahihirapan ka na makahanap ng tamang strategy para magtagumpay sa laboratory activity na ito. Next, there is a high pressure to perform well. Mataas ang mga pressure na mag-perform ng mabuti. Kapag naramdaman ng isang tao na kailangan niyang magtagumpay sa kabila ng mataas na pressure at expectation, pwede ito maging stress at nakakaapekto sa kanilang kakayahang mag-isip at maging epektibo ang strategy. Halimbawa, sa laboratory activity ulit. Nakita mo ang mga klase mo na alam na nila ang mga blood type nila. Kaya nape-pressure ka na gumawa ng activity ng maayos at tama at pwede itong magdulot ng stress sa iyo. There's a high time pressure to perform well immediately. Kung may limitadong oras para matapos ang isang gawain, ang tao ay maaaring magmadali at mawala ng focus. Kaya't hindi nila magagamit ng tama ang strategy o magplano ng maayos. Halimbawa, may limitasyon sa oras ang pagkuha ng blood type at hinihingi na ng iyong guro ang resulta, kaya nape-pressure ka at pwede kang mawala sa focus at hindi mo magawa na maayos ang activity. Hindi ka nakapaglaan ng oras upang magplano at mag-execute ng maayos.
12. Goals, including goal commitment, is combination with self-efficacy, mediate or partial mediate effects of several personal traits or incentives on performance. Ganito kasi yan, kapag yung isang tao is may malinaw na goal, may clear na goal siya, at determinado niyang gawin yung at determinado niyang i-achieve yung isang bagay na naniniwala siya na sa kakayahan niya, for example, kaya ko tong gawin, gagawin ko to kahit mahirap, kahit hindi ko alam magiging resulta. Usually, guys, sila yung mga tao nagsasucess talaga sa buhay. Sila yung mga taong nagwawagi sa buhay, especially ang mga may positive personality traits at may motivated silang gawin ng isang bagay. 13. Goal setting and goal-related mechanism can be trained and or adopted in the absence of training for the purpose of self-regulation. So, for example, your mindset is fixed mindset, then gusto mong maging, gusto mong maging growth mindset ka. So, actually guys, yung mga mechanism nila or yung mga tactics nila, yung mga abilities nila is, di ba nga, yung mga fixed mindset is, akala nila hanggang doon lang sila na yung abilities nila hindi na madadagdagan, yung mga skills nila hindi na madadagdagan. So, sinasabi dito is yung mechanism nila is nate-train naman yun is na-adapt natin. And hindi ka mag-i-stay lang sa isang skills is kung fixed mindset ka is pwede kang lumipas sa growth mindset. Ayun yung hindi alam ng mga may fixed mindset na pwede kang lumipas sa growth mindset with the training or adaptation sa environment nila. Goals serve as standard of self-satisfaction with harder goals in demanding higher accomplishment in order to attain self-satisfaction. So, yung goal nila is nagsaserve as a standard of self-satisfaction. Kung yung goal mo is pinapursigihan mo, naghirap ka, syempre, nagde-demand ka ng higher accomplishment. For example, sa isang course mo or subject, so, for example, sa UTS, talagang pinaghihirapan mo bawat quiz mo, talagang review kung review, recitation kung recitation, attendance kung attendance, pinaghihirapan mo yun, syempre mag-e-expect ka ng higher accomplishment, mag-e-expect ka ng higher grade. So, para ma-attain mo yung satisfaction mo, yung, for example, nagpakahirap ka nga sa isang bagay na yun, pero hindi mo na-meet yung higher accomplishment mo, hindi mo ma-attain yung self-satisfaction mo. So, para ma-attain natin yung self-satisfaction natin is kailangan kung kailangan sa pinaghirapan nating goal is malaki or maganda ang accomplishment na mag-get natin or makukuha natin doon. So, ayun lang po yung report ko. Thank you so much sa pakikinig. Sana may natutunan kayo. Summary lang sa lahat ng nireport ko. Yung fixed and, especially sa fixed and growth mindset. Ang fixed mindset is ayaw nilang magmukhang katawa-tawa. Yung akala nila, yung abilities and skills nila is hanggang doon na lang. Alam nila is yung skills and ability nila hanggang doon na lang, hindi na magbabago. While ang growth mindset is nade-develop siya time to time na okay lang na mag-take ng risk sa isang goal na to. Kung magiging result is good, is mas okay, is mas matutuwa sila. Kung bad, okay lang din kasi hindi nila yan ite-take as a negative result, negative feedback. Instead, ite-take nila yun into positive feedback, into positive way na sa susunod, ganito yung gagawin ko. Tinitake nila yung mistake nila as learning opportunities. Ayun lang. Thank you. Thank you sa pakikinig. Bye.